Welcome to this week's Mesonet Weather Report. I'm Wes Lee. The temperatures this winter have been like a pendulum, swinging from one extreme to the other in a short period of time. You can send the kids to school in a short sleeve shirt one day, and the next you have to dig out the heaviest coat. On Tuesday, the high temperatures reached all the way up into the high 70s in the state. By Wednesday afternoon, things swing the other way as a cool front dropped temperatures by as much as 42 degrees in the Panhandle. As humans, we have ways to deal with rapid temperature changes. We can stay inside and turn up the heat or bundle up if we have to go outside. Cattle, on the other hand, have to tolerate these changes from day to day in their environment. On Tuesday, it was about perfect for cattle, with the Cattle Comfort Index being right in the middle of the comfortable range. By the very next day, the range had slipped down into single digits and into the cold caution category. This rapid temperature change up and down is very tough on cattle. Temperature stress affects weight gain and can make diseases like pneumonia become more of an issue. Forecasts seem to indicate dramatic temperature swings are likely to continue next week as well. Now here's Gary with news on the continuing drought.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, unfortunately, that drought continues to worsen across much of the state. It's not getting any better. Let's get straight to that new map and see where we're at. Unfortunately, for the first time since August 21st of 2018, we have an exceptional drought in the state of Oklahoma. That exceptional drought, or D4 drought, is basically a 1 in 50 to 100 year event, and it's now centered over the eastern sides of Cimarron County and the western sides of Texas County out in the Oklahoma Panhandle. Now, for much of the rest of the state, we see shades of moderate to extreme drought with severe in there as well. So very little of the state other than east central Oklahoma doing good on drought right now. No shock at all with the complete lack of precipitation over the last 5 to 6 months. Let's take a look at the rainfall statistics for the cool growing season. This is since September 1st of 2021. Look out there at that Panhandle region where that D4 drought is. 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall at the most. So very unfortunate for those folks out there. Okay over there in far eastern Oklahoma, and obviously it gets worse as you go to the west. Some areas with 4 to 6 inches, but most areas less than 5 inches of rainfall over the western half of the state. Shows up much more nicely on the percent of normal rainfall map for that same time frame since September 1st. Lots of the state, especially across the western half to 2/3 of the state, less than 50% of normal, and when you get in some parts of western Oklahoma, it's less than 30% of normal, especially out there in the Panhandle. So definitely not good news over the last 5 or 6 months for much of the state. And while temperatures have calmed down since December, they're still well above normal across the Panhandle where that D4 drought was introduced. At times, more than 10 degrees higher than normal for those high temperatures. So definitely still some damage going on due to the unusual warmth out in that region. Now, at some point, it just gets pretty obvious what we need is precipitation. Any sort of precipitation right now would be welcome. I know we don't want any of that freezing rain, but even a little bit of that would be helpful for this drought situation. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.